Right, this was one of the more life-absorbing long plays we've ever had, but it comes to a draw as many things do. That means it's time to vote on the next one, and up to bat, we got 5 contenders as we often do, but notably, none of them are strategy games. Strategy games have a bit of an unfair advantage when they're cast against non-strategy in these votes, given that this channel largely revolves around strategy games, which is a very strange thing for me to reflect on in life. As a kid, I was never big into strategy games. In fact, all through my life, most of it not been big in strategy games. I've liked my Stronghold and my Dungeon Keeper and my Caesar 3, but those were more exceptions to the rules. I played quite a bit of JRPGs, action games, but I never really saw myself as much of a strategist until I started chewing into Paradox games in a big way. And then I thought, you know, maybe I might have a bit of aptitude for this. Being good at something really helps enjoying it, don't you think? Well, regardless what you think, we have a different kind of thinking going on. It's what the long play will be. We've got Bully. Bully was defeated quite a long time ago in a head-to-head match against Pod Racer. And for that, Bully was designated to the bench for quite some time, but it's coming back for another hurrah. It's a game we play as the ugly little urchin Jimmy Hopkins there, and you go around bullying kids at a school. It got a lot of negative press attention for glorifying bullying, but clearly that was done by game reviewers in their infancy, because the game is actually about fighting against bullying. It's very good, and it's made by Rockstar. There's Just Cause 3. I played Just Cause 2, not on stream, way before my streaming days. Just Cause 2 is very good. Just Cause 3 might also be very good. I wouldn't know. Haven't played it, but I think I have it. Going around destroying things, causing, in massive quotes, chaos, the Americanism for terrorism in some backwards island place. Then there's Prey. I really don't know anything about this. Scary. I don't know. Plo was shilling about the game. But it was on the list and I decided to give it a go. Apparently it's atmospheric, hopefully in a different way that Control was. Polybridge 2, we've had that on stream before. It's a game about building bridges. Not the social kind, the very literal kind. We played through one chapter of it for a weekly one-shot, and I was long wanting to have another shot at it. But I couldn't see any good weekly one-shots put forward for it, so I decided, screw it, we'll just take a lovely, very leisurely, casual run through the entire game, start to finish. Well, maybe not the start, since I already did the start, but we'll figure it out. Try and get all the bridges done to the specifications, under budget, and maybe never breaking. Then there's Dying Light. More zombies, more action. I suppose if you like State of Decay 2, this will be more like that? Question mark? Don't know, haven't played it, but the description said something about you'll enjoy this if you like State of Decay 2. So I'll go with that. Actually, there are real descriptions. Why am I not reading those? That might make a bit more sense. After all, these suggestions come in from you, the people. Well, I guess Bully and Polybridge 2 didn't. I pulled those out of my rear end. I'm mostly interested about what Dying Light had to say about it. You take a crowbar, wrap it in barbed wire, and have it spray napalm or electrocute zombies. In addition, it's fluid, generally fast-paced. It's a silly game when you learn the wrestling moves, suplex deadites, round and kick them, play hopscotch on their heads, etc. Guns are rare to the point where you need to pry them off someone's broken, bloodied fingers. Generally, when the game gets stale, it throws some new toys or abilities. State of Decay 2 tier Plague Ferals come out of the night to rip you a new one. More wacky upgrades to your melee weapons, etc. It's a rather pretty game. You don't have cars, you have weaponized parkour combined with grapple hooks to navigate around. 50 plus hours. That's Dying Light. What did Prey have to say? Is Prey even on my list? Surely it's on my list. Where did it go to? Prey 2017, it was Krebsig, not Plo. Immersive sim, highly systematic gameplay that rewards exploration, perception, cleverness, and thinking outside the box, unique basic enemies, creative use of guns, sci-fi setting, great horror akin to System Shock 2 or Alien Isolation. Wow, one of those I didn't play, another I didn't like. 20 to 40 hours, and then there was Just Cause 3 somewhere, right? I'm just reading these off a list, I'm not pulling these out of my backside. Oh man, it screeds for Just Cause 3. Let's just read the start and the end. Looking at the series as a whole, I'd say Just Cause 3 presents the peak of the gameplay. And at the end, you've said in the past that you've enjoyed other games in the series, and this would be an interesting opportunity to explore the type of game that doesn't normally get featured on the channel. Fascinating, but I've talked too much. It's time to get the vote rolling. So let's start that poll right now. Now these are the closest things to democracy we have on the channel, but it's still oligarchic. Where's that poll at? There we go. That's not it. That's also not it. Where'd it go? Is it showing up for anyone? Sure not showing up for me. Perhaps if I refresh, we'll get that back. There we go. Right, bully surges ahead. Either there's a chat full of bullies or full of people that want some kind of catharsis against the bullies. Either way, you go around the game like lobbing firecrackers at people, pulling up their shorts over their heads, that sort of stuff, and hiding in dustbins to get away from the prefects. I had a lot of fun with the game as a kid. I hear the port kind of sucked, but surely somebody's put out some patches for that. But the second horses in this race are Prey and Polybridge, although Polybridge is now surging ahead of Prey. So I guess it's going to be between Bully and Polybridge 2. Both relatively casual games, so it's going to be a nice change of pace from the aneurysms that Dominions 5 has been giving me over the past few weeks. But, wow, a lot of people must have been saving up their love for Bully, because it got destroyed previously. I say destroyed, it was pretty tight between it and Pod Racer. And I think everybody that wanted Bully back then felt so stolen from, because Pod Racer was done in 2 shots. It should have been a weekly 1-shot. I didn't know. I thought it was a much longer game. Guess others didn't know either. But at least we got to spend time with Watto, so there's that. You say that, Jake, but when you end up spending 3 weeks reading up on Polybridge 2 theory... Well, listen, Scots are natural architects. There's not a lot of things we're that great at as a race, but if there's one thing we are, it's building things. Well, not houses. We're certainly terrible at that. But bigger projects, like bridges, those we do. Of course, if it's me, we burn them down a lot as well. I'm surprised. I haven't seen this many votes flood in for them, but Polybridge 2 and Bully are both surging right now. Normally, when one surges ahead like that, the lower one dies off, but there's still the belief in Polybridge 2. If only everything from Prey was just picked up and put on that, then we'd have a winner for the polybridging, but we don't. Jake, you inversed bit and channel point prices. I did? Huh, well that might explain it. Still, mistakes in the poll are part and parcel of the poll itself, so you're just going to have to spend them accordingly. Have you not adopted the Swedish way of life? I've been trying to get out of this country for some time. It's just not working out the way I want it to. Well, what were the point? Like 74 points, I think? Everybody will have tons of those, but it's giving Polybridge 2 a chance to fight back. It's pretty close, but it just couldn't surge up fast enough. Bully takes it. Bully takes it by quite a bit. DDR blind strikes again. Listen, that is the whim of fortune. Sometimes it goes well, sometimes it's stable, sometimes it goes pretty bad. You have to accept that chance plays a pretty big part in this channel. And if you're somebody that had a lot of points, now is your chance to be heard proportionally a whole lot more than anyone else. Although I sincerely doubt anybody was going to cast a vote at 40 euros a vote. That's kind of funny to me. Okay, so Bully swings it. They got 43, but we can have more of a breakdown, can't we? I want to view those results. Because this is going to be a fairly unique set of results. Hang on, maybe we can... yeah, maybe we can get these out. I never normally show this, but I think it'll be fun to look at. Hold that thought. Keep holding. Is that what I'm looking at? Might be what I'm looking at. Alright, in you come. Let's see if that works. Probably works. Needs to be neatened up a little bit though. Trim that up, expand that out. Righto. Helden was mashing it out for Bully, was he? I think he wants to relive his time being a proper bully. I bet he was a right scumbag in high school. Wooter, Electro, Binjar, Jingo. So these are the bully lovers. But then there are the bridge builders. Tyrian, Bane, Jorlum, Kane, Mucus. But is our bridge building lover as big as our bullying lover? Bigger. Well, there you go, Tyrian. There are all the points you got from watching Dominions 5. Blown away because Bully won the vote there. Then there were the prayers. There we go. Figures that Nitro would be our prey. And there goes Marvin and Krebs. And then the Lost Cause 3ers. Linky, Zanzibar. Was that Sebi D? No, it's Shroomy D. Fascinating. But Bully wins it. We will be starting Bully at some point. Don't know when. I'll see how quickly I can get it set up. I think there are some wildcard segments to fill up. Still though, there we go. Finally, a brief game of Dominions 5. Never thought we'd see the day. But aside from that, we'll have our multiplayer blitz of this tomorrow, starting at a very unorthodox hour. I think 1500 Central European time. And then we can move over to greener pastures, like more Victoria and some bullying. So until those streams, it's a cheers from me. Gonna enjoy the rest of my day, probably practicing playing Pallet Town on my xylophone a bit more. I still suck at music, but someday I'll be good. And then whatever else comes my way. So cheerio.